It is currently 10:02 p.m. in Brisbane City, Australia. It is the 14th of October 2022. My name is Mikey Nakada. This is another one of those weekly updates that I've been doing for a while now. So far only 3, I think, maybe. To start it off with, on Saturday we went on a GOMA trip. I'll show you the footage on screen. GOMA is short for Gallery of Modern Arts, and I don't know for how long, but they've been holding this Disney exhibition for a while. We paid for 2 tickets and we went in, we checked out the things that they've been displaying, and there's been so many interesting things there. To be honest with you, I don't know how to go in depth with the experience that I've had there, because I'm not that big of a Disney fan, but I love their movies and I love their stories, and to be honest, that's really where my interest ends. I didn't really have the attention span for all the history behind everything. It was actually fun to read a little bit about the culture of where the stories were taken from, but other than that, Walt Disney, cool, I guess. Yeah, there's a lot of cultural dances that I've seen that they've taken a clip of and then turned it into an animation. I've seen a little bit about Raya. I didn't know it was a Cambodian story. I had no idea. And yeah, my recent favorite, Encanto and Moana. Let's ignore Frozen for now. Beauty and the Beast, The Sleeping Beauty. Tangled was also fun. What else was there? Mulan I was hyped for, so I like spending a bit of time there, just looking at all the displays. Wasn't there something cool? Yeah, Moana. Have I mentioned Moana? Moana is like another story that I fantasize over, I love that movie so much, and it was nice seeing it being displayed, because it seems like there's been some movies that has been missing from the displays, and obviously I don't expect them to display every single movie that they've done. And since this exhibition was about Disney after all, so yeah, it wasn't about the movies. It was about how it came to be, and yeah, I thought that was interesting. Yeah, so I'll continue showing these clips while I talk about my week, because there's really not much else to display when it comes to my week. So yeah, Monday through Friday I worked. I was a little less motivated this week. The day felt long, but because Jelly's schedule was now scheduled to late mornings, so she comes back late in the evening, that gave me time to catch up with some friends online. A good friend has landed a job, which will hopefully improve their lives a bit, so that was an exciting news for me. Another friend seemed to have worked out their family problems, although it may be temporary, but I'm glad they're getting a break from the stress they've been dealing with. And there's other bits and pieces that I've had a little bit of discussion on with a group of people. It's always fun being able to actually have time to sit down and talk to people, so that's been a plus for me. I really did enjoy every single person that joined us on the conversation this week. I'm really grateful for you all joining us. I recently got back into Animal Crossing. That game has always been fun, although repetitive at times, because the money making process can be very tedious, but yeah, it's okay. I mean, that's also the fun part. I enjoy the tediousness. I watched this anime called Anohana because I'm a sucker for sad anime, but it turns out I didn't resonate with the film. It was mostly about a group of kids struggling to deal with the loss. Don't worry, I'm not gonna spoil everything. And rejection from their crush, and a lot of moments where everyone would just shout bamboo shoot or anal at each other. I think I was outside of the age range, or it could be that I'm a dead, emotionless carcass who can't relate to what these kids are going through. So yeah, maybe it just wasn't for me. Maybe some other people would enjoy that. Jelly and I have been watching a show, and they had this open hand personality test. The way you open your hand could relate to what kind of personality you have, which is not backed by science. Let's clarify that first. But we both thought it was interesting, so I decided to share with you all and see what you get. Let me know in the comments. I think now is a good use for a comment section, isn't it? Let me know what hand type you were and if you agree with the description. So all you have to do is hold your hand out and spread wide. whatever gap that you notice is the biggest or the smallest, you kind of match that with the examples shown in the image and see if you fit into A, B, C, D, or E. So yeah, let me know what you get. I think from what I remember, I had C and Jelly had A. Between here was bigger with her open hand. Yeah, just a little fun thing. I think that's everything that I've done this week. I don't think there's much else, so yeah, let's move on to comment reading. In the last weekly update, Aka has typed, "It's really quite fascinating to follow your pregnancy along. I can finally understand those family uwu and preggy channels." I mean, I briefly talk about how Jelly is pregnant and all that, but I don't think I make that the whole content, do I? I do talk about other stuff. It is, you know, like part of my life, obviously, so I'm gonna talk about it. So I don't know about the other family channels that turn their whole pregnancy, like trimesters, into a career, so I doubt that those contents are for me. But it's still good to be able to learn a few things about, you know, how to deal with like certain issues that arise when you're pregnant, or you know, having a newborn, you know, how to take care of them and how to deal with emergencies. That is everything that I want to know just before we get into this new parenthood. But like I said, pregnancy not my identity, so let's move on. Right, Betty left 2 comments. First one saying, "I hate changes, but also the channel and Twitch has changed so much. I guess I kind of don't mind changes because I'm still here, but don't get me wrong, I will still complain after every change." Yeah, I don't know if there's anything I could add to that. I don't like changes either. I mean, I don't exactly force it to happen, but it is good for like stimulation, I think. I think repetition kills everything. It's also good to be able to challenge ourselves to adapt to changes. To be honest, I barely remember what I was talking about in the last video, so I'm just winging it at the moment, and I'm too lazy to click on the video and have a look at what I was talking about. So I'm just gonna go along. And lastly, Betty goes, "George/Joji is mine, hands off boy," because Betty's pregnant also. Betty's expecting a boy. If it is a boy, she was planning on naming him Joji. My personal opinion, not that anybody asked, I think there's plenty of Joji everywhere. Probably almost as much as Steven. But picking common name is always a safe choice, I guess. I still haven't come up with a name that feels natural to us yet, so I'm trying to take my time and come up with names and creating a list with it. And maybe nearing the end of the 3rd trimester, we might have to decide on which names we're going to be using. And Jelly left a comment saying, "I'll be more appreciated if you can cut my vomit sounds out. Thank you. I can't control that, but you can. You're ruining my perfect wife image." But Jelly, that's what makes you perfect. She vomits in the background. Right, and in the latest Kirby video, Aka was asking, does Jelly get financially compensated for these videos? Yeah, she gets 50% of the profit that I earn from all these YouTube videos. By the way, I'm not partnered. I would really appreciate it if we could hit 1,000 subs. But even if we hit 1,000 subs, we still need to meet that 4,000 hours of watch time. So that's another uphill struggle. And lastly, there was a comment left by Aka, my good friend Aka, on a video where I talked about how I'm black-pilled from the interactions that I've been seeing online, where we discuss ideas but we're not able to do it in a way that we can be respectful to each other. But maybe depending on the person who's watching the video, that perception might be different. Mostly it is my fault for not being able to communicate my point properly, but that is the unfortunate side of communication, where not 100% of what I say is going to reach the other person. And whatever percentage that was lacking during the transfer of words, the other person is going to fill that hole in, and that's how we all often understand each other. So some things can't be helped, and opinions are opinions. We give them, we take them, we understand each other better. Let me premise this by saying this person, English is not the first language for this person, and same with I. Right? So I can empathize with the way that sometimes we talk about something, but it may not come across the way that we intended it to be. And we can only borrow words that we've heard before or we've used during whatever learning process we went through. So I did keep this in mind while reading, and I wanted to give a little bit of a warning while I'm reading this entire comment here.
Now what?
I'll dissect it into a few parts. There's like 3 paragraphs, and I'll try to be as quick as possible. L video. Okay, for real, my personal opinion though, most people online aren't outright mean. You're not in a unique position at all. When toxic children joins your chat, who you do a decent part in actively attracting, you always go the condescending route, which isn't exactly polite either. The default isn't being negative at all. Extreme negativity and positivity are no different conceptually. They're somewhat performative. And you, as someone who outright hates fake positivity, revel in online negativity, drama content, no ban policy, etc., that's your shit. I probably am missing 80% of the story, so I may very well be wrong. But to me, it seems like that you personally have made a point to welcome lonely outcasts, etc., and enjoy drama content yourself. What a surprise that you're not shown respect and the online world seems toxic. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is that people who enjoy uwu, we all love each other, are the same as LMAO, you idiot, fuck off. It doesn't actually hold any weight. In gaming, the toxicity you describe is seen as common banter to most. Just like you saying LMAO, we've all been there, you edgy 12-year-old, to a person joining your no ban chat is also just banter. You're like a 50-year-old Facebook mum going into YouTube drama comment section because it's entertaining and something different to your usual respectful group chats just to cry about how seemingly toxic it is. If you're tired of the people you meet online, there's an easy fix. Move on to other corners of the internet. What I personally have noticed though is that even though I'm also sometimes unhappy with the type of people I surround myself with online, I have a hard time fitting in anywhere else. Guess it eventually corrupts you. It still feels kind of heavy reading all of that. But Aka felt this at the time, and I did talk to him already and discussed what he meant by what he said in the comment here. And he did clarify a few things for me, so I'm glad that I had that conversation. He meant no ill will. It's just he had this image of me that made him think, of course you would think that way because you're like this and this is what you are. And I do also remember a comment during the live stream where someone told me that I love drama, even though my interest in drama is very specific. But I get that it doesn't really matter to people who is not necessarily interested in that entire genre. And at the same time, I also understand I don't expect everybody to know entirely of, what makes me me. Me feeling conflicted with how people perceive me, I think I also take part in that. And how I feel is not necessarily anyone else's responsibility. Okay, so I want to get to responding to this comment because this is a comment after all, and I should respond. Okay, so from the top, when toxic children joins your chat, who you do a decent part in actively attracting, you always go the condescending route, which isn't exactly polite either. Who you call toxic children that joins my chat is the one who is often banned from other streams for their behavior, and because I don't often network with other streamers, it does seem like I attract them the most. But that's because they're also the type of viewers that would actively browse for streamers. Everyone else is either committed to their favorite type of streams or only comes on Twitch to watch their internet celebrities from different platforms like YouTube. I don't understand why you're differentiating condescension from politeness, because you can be condescendingly polite to people, which isn't even what I do. I think when I'm talking to people, especially to kids, I try to be as respectful as possible. But how we define condescension is something that I've already discussed with Aka, and it appears that we've just had different perspectives on what happened when a younger audience joined our conversation during the live stream. The way I pointed out that that person might be younger and not understand what they're saying and the weight of what they're saying. For example, making fun of me eating dogs, me pointing out that they might be younger than us, and how I say that I understand how the words that he's saying may not hold much weight in his head because lack of experiences, etc., etc. Racism is not something that is understood by all, so I don't expect kids to have a full grasp of what hateful words mean and the reaction that other person might take when those words are being said to them. So from my perspective, that was me trying to exercise empathy. And it was also to warn other people that you might be talking to kids and maybe the way you're reacting to them may not be as effective as you think. It's just something that I go through all the time, and most of the people that, you know, makes fun of me for like drinking bat soup or eating dogs or, you know, like saying the N-word, F-word, most of the time those are kids. Especially if my streams are on the smaller side. Obviously I'm like a 10 viewer Andy, right? No adults with hate in their heart would go to a smaller stream and try to bully the streamer. They go for the big ones. But kids, they go for the small ones because they don't discriminate, and I like that about them. But I guess we had that difference in understanding what condescension means. Maybe Aka felt like I was making fun of that person, and maybe it did seem that way to other people, so I can't completely eliminate the possibility that maybe that was how it appeared. And if it appeared that way, I do apologize for that. That wasn't my intention. Moving on to the next thing that I wanted to say. And you, as someone who outright hates fake positivity, revel in online negativity, drama content, no ban policy, etc., that's your shit. I probably am missing 80% of the story, so I may very well be wrong, but to me it seems like that you personally have made a point to welcome lonely outcasts, etc., and enjoy drama content yourself. What a surprise that you're not shown respect and the online world seems toxic. What it feels like here is that you're blaming this toxicity I experienced on the decision I made to watch one specific type of content to use as topic during streams, and the friends I surround myself with, which you happen to be one of them. But with the way you're talking though, you might be proving a point. Aka clarified to me during the conversation that I've had when I confronted him about this comment. This wasn't meant to be a comment on my character, but I don't see it anything but that. Like, you're describing me here. This is what you're doing. You're telling me what I often watch and who I often talk to that affects my point of view. What I don't understand is how you could confidently make this comment without actually being able to confirm that I am this person that you're describing. And that's what frustrated me the most. Like, I couldn't believe you're doing this. I revel in online negativity. I just never felt so villainized by who I thought was a friend. Moving on. Essentially what I'm trying to say is that people who enjoy uwu, we all love each other, are the same as LMAO, you idiot, fuck off. It doesn't actually hold any weight, but that wasn't what I was talking about in the video. It's fine to expose the wrongs or disagree with people as long as respect is shown on both sides during their back and forth. I don't understand why you think I don't get that, especially right after you telling me I hate fake positivity and revel in online negativity. And here Aka says, in gaming, the toxicity you describe is seen as common banter to most. Just like you saying LMAO, we've all been there, you edgy 12-year-old, to a person joining your no ban chat is also just banter. I never make these type of comments because I find it to be very disrespectful. I may cringe to what people say and indirectly point out why this hurts to read or listen to, but I do make effort to not characterize someone, especially if I'm the streamer and I have full control of the narrative. If I wanted to, anyone who's being positive in my chat, I could villainize and everybody would attack them. And I am aware of the responsibility. There is a reason why I do the things that I do, and if this is how I'm being seen, then maybe this is something that I also could revise on. And on the comment of banter, a banter only works if it's done with people who actively participate in it. It's wrong to say, I fucked your mom to a stranger's grandmother, but it's okay if you're doing it to a person who can identify that you have a good intention in the words that you use. I don't mind people who likes trash talking while gaming or outside of gaming, as long as they all have a common understanding of what is expected while taking part in the talk. Which is beside the point, because it's not banter when what is said is neither playful nor is it friendly. I could give many examples of people molding over what was said during a game. Banter expires when it makes the person visibly and or audibly upset. But that's just me, I guess. If you're tired of the people you meet online, there's an easy fix. Move on to other corners of the internet. What I personally have noticed though, is that even though I'm also sometimes unhappy with the type of people I surround myself with online, I have a hard time fitting in anywhere else. Guess it eventually corrupts you. See that first line there? It felt to me like you wanted me to stop talking to you, and that's why it bothered me. And with the next line, that's where it felt to me like that was very self-destructive. And I will make this clear, the things that I'm about to say is an opinion. The way I describe Aka here is not necessarily what he is, but this is only an assumption from what I gathered through all the ways that has been observed with the words that he used and the way he describes this solution that he's offering. I like Aka a lot. I feel like there's a whole lot of quality in him that is buried under all this aggression that he doesn't know where to direct it at. I think Aka has trouble with his awareness when it comes to social situations. I also see that interpretation is a big issue. The way he interpreted me, I was like, I was a little insulted with the way I was described by him. Maybe if you could see things from the receiving end of your words and maybe see through the eyes of a person who is vulnerable, that might be a step towards becoming a person who is more likable. Not that, Aka is unlikable to begin with. It's just there's some quality in him that is very unfortunate, and I think this is something that will eventually fade away through, having more social interaction. I'd like for you to keep talking to me, Aka. I do enjoy being around you. And when you're talking, you don't sound like the way you type. And I know this. And the fact that you can be very honest in the way that you see things, I love that about you. Keep it up. But learn to phrase it in a way that helps the other person understand what you're trying to say, rather than shoving everything you feel right at their face and expect them to get it. Otherwise, there'll be more people who would feel the way I did when I read what you said. And lastly, the default isn't being negative at all. Extreme negativity and positivity are no different conceptually. They're somewhat performative. Like, this particular sentence made me wonder what your default is. And I wonder if that affected the way you saw what kind of person I am, or the things that I said in that video. I won't stop trying to understand, because I value everything that everybody says about me and people around me. So I feel like there's something to learn from this for the both of us, not just you. But yeah, sorry to end that on a serious note. Maybe I should have put that at the beginning and then ended on a good note. I'm still learning how to make these videos. But if you like the way I do things, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe. And also, if you could, support the channel by liking these videos, including this one. And again, let me know about the whole open hand thing. Tell me what kind of personality you got. There might be some truth to it, but it's not scientifically backed, so yeah, let's keep that in mind. I got Discord, link in description. I also plan on increasing channel so that I can, separate the stream stuff with whatever content that I want to make on the side. Some of those channels already exist, so yeah, I want to refine that a little bit and then start uploading different types so that I don't have to flood the feed from one channel and expect everybody to just adapt to all the things that I do. I want to dedicate each channel to different categories. That's the plan for it, so we'll have to see. My name is Mikey Nakada, half Japanese, half Filipino, living in Brisbane City, Australia, currently 29 years old. For your information, not single, kinda gay. Don't die, stay alive. Laugh with me in the next video. I almost said stream.